As some of you may know, I was recently diagnosed with borderline personality disorder.
It's been a roller coaster year for comedian Pete Davidson.
Some people are sad. Some people gotta work and figure their stuff out.
We're talking about borderline personality disorder.
Right.
And, you know, if you don't want to talk about it, tell me. But
No, I can talk about it. Yeah.
Of course you do, but how often do you still battle with depression?
Oh, I'm always depressed all the time. I have to constantly bring myself out of it. Like I wake up depressed, but like I'm like, okay, now I know my steps because you learn from the real. Like now I have to go outside and be in the sun for a little bit, or go for a walk, or like start the day this way. It's all just programming yourself to trick your brain, you know.
Were you ever suicidal?
Yeah, all the time. But I can't because I got a mom and a sister and like a family. So like I've always been suicidal, but I've never had like the balls, you know, which I'm very lucky. Like for the first time, maybe like when I went away this time, I felt like I had maybe almost the balls because it's starting to get like, you know, when you're not feeling good and you're going through all this stuff and there's like people at your house in Staten Island, it just like really drives you fucking crazy.
Like
and you're off the psych meds?
For 3 months. No, I'm still on them.
Mm-hmm.
I was on it for like 3 months. I didn't do anything. And I still felt the same. I still felt like something was fucked up and something was wrong. And I found out I have BPD, which is borderline personality disorder.
And who diagnosed that?
One of my my psychiatrist, therapist, psychiatrist.
Yeah,
They're all the same.
Sure.
I don't know which one it is.
And that and what you know what was the what were the sort of like how did he do the interview that led him to that conclusion?
He was always saying like before this big meltdown happened, he was like, you know, you're probably bipolar or borderline. We just kind of have to figure it out. And then after that started happening, he was like, you're borderline. This is what it is.
Because you don't have prolonged depression.
Yeah, she was like, I'm depressed all the time, but like,
right.
it whatever they said, they're really close, and it doesn't really come out until this age.
Really?
They were like, this is the age where it kind of.
But now, am I wrong in thinking that borderline is behavioral and bipolar is actually chemical?
I think so. I'm not like exactly sure,
I don't
they're
know
both
either.
so close, and what I'm being treated with is like called DBT skills.
Yeah,
which is dialectical behavior.
Yeah,
and they're both like this. They're treated kind of like the same.
You think you've ever hit rock bottom?
Oh yeah, I hit it all the time.
No, you don't, man. Well, I mean, I can't tell you what you do.
My rock bottom is when like people are scared of my life and I have to go away, and then I have to bring myself back up again. So like I think I've hit it a few times, and you know, as long as you're around good supportive people, you should be able to, you know, and then if you're strong enough, you'll be able to get out of it.
What does that look like to you, though? What does rock bottom look like to Pete Davidson?
It's usually like I'm doing a little too much shrooms and a little too much acid and just like having a little too much fun and not sleeping, not taking good care of myself. And then when you don't sleep and you have a mental illness and you're doing all this shit, it's just, I think, what the lady, she called it rocket fuel. And you're taking your meds and all this mix of all this shit, you just go a little nuts. And I was on Accutane for a little bit, trying that shit. That shit made me nuts. So it was just, it's very manic and very sleepless.
Depression affects more than like 16 million people in this country, and there's no like cure per se, but for anyone dealing with it, there are treatments that can help. First of all, if you think you're depressed, you know, see a doctor and talk to them about medication, and also be healthy.
How do you know when it's time to go get help? Like, okay, I'm doing too much.
Usually when I start like cutting, or like when shit gets like when it just gets a little insurmountable, or like people are like, hey, my friends will tell me now. We're at a point where like people will come over and be like, hey, you gotta we're all fucking pissed and terrified. So not pissed, but like we're all like worried, so you should go. I got a good group around me where they give a fuck.
What does cutting look like?
I cut my chest. That's why I started getting tats on my chest, is to like cover them. It's just like a release. It's just something that like, it's if you can't get a tattoo, or like if you can't, it's never in like any like spot that's like serious. It's just like, whenever you're so manic and upset, sometimes that's like the only thing that would work for me. But now you go to rehab, you learn like, oh, you could like take a cold shower, you could work out, you could listen to music really loud, you could read this excerpt, you could go on the Calm app, you can call a friend, you could wait 5 minutes. There's just, you know, so much shit you learn. that is like eked into your brain if you get to do some of that stuff. So like, you know, that's how I've been taking care of it.
Did the cutting bring any relief? Like,
oh yeah, it's awesome. Well, I mean, you know,
no, it's not awesome.
No, it's not awesome,
Yeah.
but like the feeling of it after is just you feel really stupid after, but like as you're doing it, it feels really great. It's like getting tatted.
Okay, so you think that you're trying to match, I guess, physical pain with emotional?
Yeah,
pain?
when I'm really angry and upset, it feels really good to just get like needled up or get a tat or like, you know, shit like that.
You know, just like a fear of it's like fear of abandonment.
Well, that's right. That's the big thing with the borderline.
Yeah. So like you learn, because I would always be like, I think everybody's mad at me. Everybody hates me. Like I'm going to lose my friends. I'm going to lose my girlfriend. Like my family hates me. And I would always just like be all around and be worried all the time. And I'd be freaking out. And then this class, you know, teaches you how to use those skills and how to like be kind of independent. Is I guess the word
to sort of say, to realize that like your thoughts aren't necessarily real.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
It's like steps. They're like thought processing. Like you have this thought, you have these feelings, you have these urges. You're gonna freak out. Try waiting it out 10 minutes.
Right.
Try going for a walk.
What's DBT stand for?
Dialectical behavior therapy.
And is it working?
It is working slowly but surely. Like I've been having a lot of problems. Like this whole year has been a fucking nightmare. Like
because of this.
This has been the worst year of my life. Like. For, you know, getting diagnosed with this and trying to figure out how to learn with this and live with this and like just learning all about it and going to doctors nonstop. It's getting better, but it's like it's taking a while.
How do you stop running from yourself, Pete? 'Cause you can't live in a world with no mirrors, right?
Right. I don't know what I'm gonna. That's something I have to work on. I'm definitely working on trying to love myself more and be less insecure. And I'm doing a lot of DBT therapy, which is dialectical behavior, which is.
Oh, break that down.
Yeah, it's pretty much for people that have like mental illness, and it teaches you steps and ways to combat like depressive feelings and shit like that. And it's super helpful. So if you guys ever need help, you should check out DBT and CBT, which is cognitive behavior therapy.
I do CBT.
Yeah.
How much do you go to therapy?
I go 2 people once a week, so two sessions a week, and yeah, sometimes it's just sitting there and just talking, but like it's always been helpful to me.
I've spoken about BPD and being suicidal publicly, only in hopes that this will bring awareness and help kids like myself who don't want to be on this earth.